This is a short video about 4.1 and 4.2, solving equations using addition or subtraction, and solving equations using multiplication or division. If for some reason you want a refresher, you can look at this short video and it will help you to remember what you need to do. One of the goals is to solve the equation, which means to figure out what number the variable is. If you have a variable in an equation, you can solve it, you can figure out what number it is. So there's two requirements. One is you always have to show your work, that is showing your steps. Even if you can do some of it mentally, I want to see it on paper. I want you to show your work. And then also check your answer. You got to make sure it's a good answer. For one-step equations, I like to do three different things. One is I circle the variable. Then I know that's what I want to get all by itself on that side of the equal. And then I ask, what is being done to the variable? And number three, I do the opposite on both sides of the equal sign. Let me show you some examples. The first examples, I'll do 3 examples for 4.1 and 3 examples for 4.2. First example is C minus 12 equals negative 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle my variable. And what's happening to the variable? It's being subtracted by 12. What's the opposite of subtract 12? It's add 12. I want to get rid of that minus 12, or I want to get rid of that negative 12. The only way to do that is to add 12. So I come over here and I add 12. But whatever I do to that side of the equal, I have to do to the other. So I add 12 here. And when I do that, the C comes down. Minus 12 plus 12 is nothing. And then the equals negative 4 plus 12 is 8. Okay. So I'm thinking C equals 8. Now I'm going to check it. So I've shown all my steps. I'm going to check it by bringing 8 up here to C. Change C to 8 minus 12. And I'm going to ask myself, what does 8 minus 12 equal? That equals negative 4, which is what I have here. So it checks out. Another one, K plus 8.4 equals negative 6.3. So I circle my variable. I know what's happening to it. It's being added by 8.4, so I have to subtract 8.4. And I have to do that on both sides of the equal sign, minus 8.4. And when I do that, I get K. Those two cancel each other out. Then negative 6.3 at minus 8.4 is going to get me a negative 14.7. Now I want to check that. So I come up here and I put negative 14.7 plus 8.4. And when I do that, I can see that I get a negative 6.3. So it checks out. So to solve that equation, my solution is K equals negative 14.7. I circle it. That's what I got. All right, one more for 4.1, that is. So we have negative 2/3 equals W minus minus 7/3. So I want to get W. I got to figure out what W is. So when W minus 7/3, it's going to get me to a negative 2/3. So it's equal. I want it to be equal. So the first thing I do is I circle my W. What's happening to the W? It's being subtracted by 7/3. So I'm going to add 7/3 on that side, and I'm going to add 7/3 on that side. And when I do that, the W comes down, and then I have a negative 2/3 plus 7/3. The denominator is already the same, so that's that. Negative 2 plus 7 is 5. Okay, so then I'm going to put 5/3 right here. I want to check it. So for W, 5/3 minus 7/3 equals, the 3 is there, and the 5 minus 7 is a negative 2, negative 2/3, which is the same as what I have right here. So that checks out. So this is my answer. W equals 5/3. You could also say W equals 1 2/3 if you want to change it into a mixed instead of an improper. All right, let's move to 4.2, where we're dealing more with division and multiplication, but same type of steps. First thing I do is I circle the variable, which is D. What's happening to D? It's being multiplied by 6. So if I want to do the opposite, I'm just going to divide this by 6, divide that by 6. And when I do that, the 6 divided by 6 is just 1. That gets me D equals 24 divided by 6 is 4. Now, of course, I want to check this. 6, I changed my D to 4. 6 times 4, that does equal 24. That checks out. This is my answer. All right, this one we have T divided by 3 equals negative 4. So I am going to circle my variable, which is T. What's happening to T? It's being divided by 3. Opposite of divide by 3 is multiply this by 3, multiply this side by 3. When I do that, it gets me T equals negative 12. I want to check it. Negative 12 over 3. I can do that. Negative 12 divided by 3 is a negative 4, which is what I have here. So that checks out, and that's my answer. All right, last one. Negative 2/5 P equals negative 6. So I circle P. What's happening to P? It's being multiplied by a negative 2/5. So the opposite of that is to divide that whole thing by negative 2/5. And if I do that to one side, I have to do it to the other. Okay, so negative 2/5 divided by negative 2/5, which is negative 2/5 times negative 5/2 equals 1. So I get P equals, now I go negative 6, make that into a fraction, divided by negative 2/5. A negative divided by a negative, it's going to be a positive, so I know I'm going to end with a positive, but I got to keep, change, flip. All right, negative 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. Nope, it's not. It's a positive 30. All right, so positive 30, and then 2 times 1 is 2. So negative 6 divided by negative 2/5 is a positive 30 over 2, or 15. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that's right, but of course it's so good to check it. Negative 2/5. I don't know why I did 2/15, but I'm going to just change that. Negative 2/5 times P, which is 15. And let's see what that equals. So I'm going to put that like that. I can actually do some cross simplifying. Divide that by 5, it gets me 1. Divide that by 5, it gets me 3. Negative 2 times 3, negative 6 over 1, or negative 6, which is the same as that. So it checks out. So yes, P equals 15. All right, that's just a little review, a little reminder of 4.1 and 4.2.